Joining me now is Congressman Tom Malinowski of New Jersey. Congressman, it's great to see you again. Thanks for coming back on the show. You were born in Poland, which has received the largest number of Ukrainian refugees by far. Tell me a little bit about how personal this is for you.
Well, I look at these people and they remind me of my own family. The stories that my family told me about hiding from Germans and Nazis in World War II. And we're seeing scenes that we thought, at least in Europe, had been banished forever. And obviously they were not. So now we got to do something about it. And I'm proud that my country is helping the Ukrainians fight this fight, and I think ultimately win this fight. But I'm also thinking about what happens after the fighting is over, and hopefully the Russians are driven out of Ukraine. We're going to have some choices to make about the sanctions that we've imposed and what to do with the assets, the hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars of Russian assets that we have frozen. And I'm just asking the simple question: Can you imagine, after all the harm that has been done, that we would send Russia's wealth back to Putin just for a ceasefire?
Right.
I can't imagine that, not with Ukraine laying in ruins.
Yeah, and you bring up a good point, because your proposed legislation would actually seize certain Russian assets valued over $5 million and then redirect the funds to aid the Ukrainian people. Tell me more how that would work and how it could turn Putin's assets against him. Are you concerned at all that it may face legal challenges here in the United States by those oligarchs?
Well, it isn't legal now. That's why we're trying to make it legal by passing this bipartisan bill. We'll have a vote on it in the Foreign Affairs Committee in the House this week. There is a bipartisan version of this bill that's been introduced in the Senate as well. Under current law, and I think a lot of folks don't understand this, under current law, we can block, we can freeze these assets, but we can't actually seize them. And I think under these extraordinary circumstances, this is an appropriate measure. It would bring some measure of justice. The resources will be very valuable, of course. A $600 million yacht can pay for rebuilding a lot of shattered apartment buildings and schools and hospitals in Ukraine. We're going to need those resources. And again, I can't imagine anybody at this point being comfortable with just returning this immense wealth to Putin. And remember, it belongs to him, not to the oligarchs in a real sense. Returning that wealth to Putin while Ukraine lays in smoldering ruins.
Yeah, people have made the point that he has given them that wealth, so technically, at least people would say that they are beholden to him, and their assets are beholden to Putin. I know that Congressman, fear is rising in Russia, that brutal oppression and the rise of another potential Iron Curtain could lead to a brain drain from that country. Obviously, there are people who are risking their lives to oppose Vladimir Putin. Nearly 250,000 Russians may have already fled their country by some estimates. You have been encouraging the Biden administration to actually accept these Russian refugees, which you called the best and brightest people in Russia. You believe it is in our own national interest to, quote, make Putin's loss our gain. Is that another way the U.S. could turn Putin's assets against him? And are you getting some traction on that? Do you believe the administration and others in Congress would welcome the idea of having these Russians leaving their country come to the U.S.?
I believe so, yes. And look, we have to take care of the Ukrainian refugees first. But most of the Ukrainians who are fleeing their country right now are women and children whose male relatives are still home fighting in Ukraine. Most of them want to go back. And our policy is designed to help them go back by helping the Ukrainian military win this fight. The tens of thousands of Russians who are fleeing Putin's totalitarianism, people like that school teacher that we heard Julia Yaffe mention, people who are telling the truth, who are resisting, and who just cannot imagine living in this totalitarian dystopia for the next 10 or 20 years. These are folks who are looking for permanent resettlement somewhere, and they are teachers, they are scientists, they are computer programmers, they are inventors, they are entrepreneurs. These are people who we'd be lucky to have them in the United States, just as we were lucky to have refugees from communism and Nazism in the 20th century. These will be folks who will do great things for America, help us become stronger in our competition with China over the next 50 years. So I do think that we should make an effort, and I have spoken to the administration about making an effort to try to encourage them actually to settle in the United States.
All right, Congressman Tom Malinowski, thank you so much for joining us. Greatly appreciate your time this evening.